Yes. All right. Oh, we're live. I missed this spinny thing, bro.
Yeah, it was there.
Oh. Get the microphone out. Yes.
Yes, we got people and likes and
It's
everything.
Wednesday night, live, Dr. Art. Tech Talk Live.
We made it one more Wednesday.
We did.
Well, Wednesday's not over. Yeah.
It's not over yet, no. Oh, wait, yes, behind you. Look, I got my new Cold War Motors calendar. Thank you, brother, man. Excellent channel. Sick cars for a sick planet. Let's see. Let's greet people as they come in, right?
Okay, Olive.
Right. Olive, what's happening? Mexican Spec, what's happening, brother, man? Don't that have to be a Marine D crayons? No.
No. It's open to anybody.
It's the 21st century, you know?
Yeah, Trump got rid of that. It's anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Greasy Garage. What's going on, dog? Nathan McCree. Joe K. I said hello to you already, Joe K. And Mexicans. Power Toys. Ski Farley. I think we're done.
Okay.
I'm all talked out.
Oh, wait. No, let's do it the right way. Let's get all the chat.
All right. Harley Hawk, what's happening, man? Do you guys flip pistons around on all engine builds or just high performance builds? I do them on every engine I've ever built myself that has like a flat top piston. Like literally every single engine I've ever built for myself since I'm like 16 years old, I've turned the pistons around because Mom Mopar told me to, and it works. It works really good. Ross Kidman, what's happening, Ross? Trying to reach me?
Hi, that's we're here. Lots of questions.
Have a DeSoto Heavy 291. Lots of questions.
Pile them on.
Fire away, Ross.
Yeah, we got 2 hours.
Peter DeSanto says tonight's going to be a great night, my friends.
That sounds like some kind of liquor ad.
It elevates us to a noble status that I don't really feel that I deserve. James Sinclair retracted his message.
Okay.
Let's see. Kathleen Murray, what's happening, Kathleen? How are you, sweetheart? Hyacinth, what's happening, Hyacinth? We have all of the girls in here tonight.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Will emissions get eliminated? Not all of them, just the unreasonable stuff.
The unreasonable California shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Eric Johnson, what's happening? There's one for you. Real Bentley. Any hope at the peanut port heads on a 454?
Any hope? There's always hope, but
what kind of hope are we looking for?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not familiar enough with them.
Yeah, I'll elaborate a little bit more. Yeah, like if
Thumper is not a girl.
No. Jojo and Son's Garage, probably not.
Creep, your opinion on flat topic cams for power? My opinion on them. Up until 1992, we ran flat topics in the top fuel car. Most people had gone to roller by that point, but I was with Lagana with the top fuel car, and we were still running a flat topic cam at that point. Actually, a lot of people were still running flat topic cams at that point. There's aside from the quality control issues that you find today, there's not. I mean, yes, a roller is superior, but in most ways. But don't
nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
Don't let power be a consideration.
Don't be afraid of the 8 billion engines that came before you that had them.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have another?
Let's see. Peanut ports can make a POS being run like a Pontiac with lots of bound and bended mid-range.
Oh, there you go, Thumper. Thank you.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on upgrading distributor from the factory Magnum EFI? Well, the factory Magnum EFI has the cam sensor in it.
Yes.
So if you're going to get rid of all your fuel injection, sure. But if you plan on keeping your fuel injection, no. That's the way that JTech runs it through that cam sensor that's run by the distributor.
That ignition system, that's like a 30,000 volt ignition. There's nothing you're not going to fire, under normal circumstances with that. It's fine.
No, their only default on the Magnum engines is they eat plug wires.
Yeah.
About once a year. So stock up on them, you'll be fine.
James Sinclair, can you use disc brakes on a 65 Barracuda without a vacuum booster? Yes, you can. Disc brakes, manual disc brakes were an option on those cars. It's just that it takes more pedal effort. That's
you got to get the right pedal that's got the right leverage.
Right, but if you ordered disc brakes and didn't specify power, you got manual discs.
72Z2080 talked about this the other day. Managed to fix the LV2 reset mode on the JTech 4.0. The crank sensor was faulty. Oh, it was a crank sensor, but not enough to stall. Just F up while running. JTech won't set a code even if the CPS is disconnected.
Yes, that's one of the unusual.
There's
for some reason, it doesn't set any codes for it.
This is your JTech. Okay, it's an uncomplicated box of crayons.
Yeah.
It's about as smart as that. So good. Glad you found your problem with that, because we were thinking it was fuel and stuff like that. Glad you found your problem.
Let's see. Richard Stanbury, what did the E58 engine come in besides the Red Express trucks? So that was the police package 360. And it came in anything you could spec a V8 in. Anything that came with, that was available with a V8, that engine was available.
Crash Roadrunner's Garage. How does piston flip work on a Slant 6?
Exactly the same way it works on every other engine, but there's less of an effect on the Slant because it's a smaller bore and it's not as much offset. The bigger the bore and the greater amount of offset, the better, the more benefit you'll see from it. But it does help. Reversing that geometry is always a step in the right direction for performance. Fubar is in, and Fubar has put up a link to your channel.
To my channel.
To your channel. So people can go over to Hot Rod's, Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab.
And subscribe, because there's a lot of you here tonight, and you all, if you're not already, you should.
Yes.
Because
it should be considered essential.
Santa and or Jesus may be watching.
Both.
So, yes.
Todd Denio, hello from Minnesota. Getting discharged from the hospital and a UTG live feed on the same day. What were you in the hospital for, man? I mean, welcome back to the world.
Yes, and because hospitals suck to be in there.
I'll probably die because I have this allergy to hospitals and doctors and stuff.
You got the white
I'll
coat
drop
fever?
dead from something stupid. Ingrown toenail or some shit like that.
Oh, here we go. Wannabe. Good evening, gentlemen. Have a nitrous question. NO2 adds oxygen to the fuel to make more power. Why is it then you cannot what?
Why is it you cannot I guess it means use oxygen and fuel in the correct ratio to do the same thing. So there are oxygenated fuels. There's oxygenated gasoline. There's nitromethane, which releases oxygen as it burns, which is why you can run it like in a almost pretty much solid liquid state. Nitrous oxide, nitrous oxide by itself doesn't make any power. What happens is the oxygen and the nitrogen separate. And the nitrogen cools the combustion chamber, and the oxygen allows you to burn more fuel. If you were to use just nitrous oxide without adding extra fuel to be burned, you just wipe out your engine on a heartbeat, which I did my first time. I told you about that, right?
No.
Fud's Buick.
No.
Where we just hooked up. We didn't know, we were 18-year-old kids.
We got nitrous.
We got a plate and we got a bottle, and I said to Neil, I'm sitting there, right? This was a customer's car.
Okay.
This was a customer's car, right? So I had this background. I was 20. I was 20 years old, right? And I had a service station, and we had a guy named Fudd who had a 455 Riviera, 70 Riviera, car, right? So he would drop it off. I would always make sure that when he was going to bring the car in, that he'd drop it off on Friday and then be pick it up on Monday. So I'd take it street racing Friday, Saturday, and this thing was fast. It was great. It was just the perfect boat. It had traction everywhere. It had balls, right?
All right.
So we ran out to I forget where we were, And Neil had he had a speed shop, and he had just gotten a nitrous oxide system kit in, but it was the first one he had seen or touched.
Well, way back then, nobody knew anything about them. It was just cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did was we took a bottle, the plate, we bolted the plate underneath the quadrigen on that thing. He sat in the passenger seat. We ran a line, and when I hit the gas, he cranked open a bottle, and it went. Listen to me. If I live to be 1,000 years old, I will never forget the sound of this engine doing its thing. I hit it, and he opens the crank, and it went. Dead silence. So we towed it from Staten Island back to my shop, towed it from Brooklyn back to my shop, pulled the heads off that night, hold every piston. Every freaking piston. He dropped this thing off for like a water pump or something, shit like that.
Yeah, well,
I ended up having to rebuild the whole motor.
Runs real nice with the water pump, but you can run a dry shot of nitrous in small doses.
Very small doses. We just gave it all.
We gave it the whole bottle, the whole 500 horse shots. Yeah.
20-year-old kid.
It was. Okay, understand how to use it. The question is, why not use just oxygen and fuel? Because the nitrous is an oxidizer. It's more than just oxygen. It releases.
No, but you're missing the nitrogen part of it.
Yeah.
The nitrogen. So combustion, right, is temperature, is heat. The nitrogen kind of creates a barrier between the surfaces of the combustion chamber, the top of the piston, the valves. The nitrogen creates like a cold barrier so that the combustion can happen inside of it and not make all of that, do all the damage. That's why just injecting just oxygen and gasoline would give you tremendous heat, and you'd probably end up killing the combustion chamber. So the nitrogen is in there. It separates. As soon as the nitrous oxide turns to a gas, it separates. The nitrogen and the oxygen separate. So you're actually bringing in two separate gases into the combustion chamber. Does that make sense? John Mace.
You got a super chat. Thank you, John.
Okay. Does low band apply in auto trans help while preserving sprag clutches when traction increases or varies from slippery to grippy? Would it be robbing power when controlling traction? No, it doesn't rob power at all. All it does is steady the sprag so that it can't roll. The question, what you want to do, if you want specific answers to that, to anything having to do with torque flight transmissions, and especially that, you want to talk to John Cope at John Cope Racing, CRT Racing. This guy is the end all be all. But no, it doesn't rob any power or have anything to do with traction control or anything like that. It allows you to take your foot off the brake, off the fuel, gas in
Without
first.
flipping the sprag and having to push the car home. Okay. Gabe from Georgia is checking in. Hi, Gabe.
What's happening, Gabe? That's my brother, Normal James.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tony, can you please help me come up with a good tech question that would be challenging for both of you? Oh God. Hey, is Lum Chin still open? Yeah, on Staten Island. Do you know if Lum Chin is still there, man? I was just thinking about their cashew chicken the other day.
Just some part of your brain said, go to Staten Island and get Chinese.
All of my memories revolve around food, and mostly Chinese restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So there, Lum Chin and the cashew chicken, whole wok, beef with black bean sauce,
Mm-hmm.
And Lee's Imperial Garden, the pan fried dumplings and Hawaiian beef.
Okay.
And these were the high moments of my life. These are the high points of my life. And you think I'm exaggerating, but
No, I believe it. Yeah.
Let's see. He's not answering if they're. Yes, they are. Oh man, I wonder if they still have cashew chicken. That was a great place, James. That was a great place. Alan Schildroth, do not ask him about the poo-poo platter. I'm not a poo-poo platter guy, man. Bill Whitaker, any tips on setting the kickdown on a 904? Same way you set them on anything else. Take the linkage off, go to wide open throttle, push the trans linkage all the way back, and then adjust it so that it just goes back together again like that. Put it back together again with a spring on the throttle arm, the kickdown arm to pull it forward. And that's it. Call it a day. You just want to make sure that both the throttle and the kickdown lever are at wide open throttle at the same time. Now, one of the problems people run across when trying to get adjustment on those is that through the years there's so much mixing and matching that a lot of times you don't get the right ratio arm on the transmission, you don't get the right ratio bell cranks, you don't get the right, like there's all different mix and match issues that come with those. So if you're not getting a good adjustment, check all of the geometry of everything else. Mexican spec is saying the feds can't do anything about what the states do. You mean as in a republic? I know.
Weird.
Oh, wait. The crazy's just getting started. Josh Holman, it is good to have you, Josh.
Yeah. Hey, Josh. Boomer, no, OBD1s are not programmable because the chip is a read-only, not an EEPROM, in an electronically erasable read-only memory.
Well, they used to have replacement chips.
Yeah, you'd have to get a custom chip burn for your application and piggyback it and all kinds of
Hypertech.
BS. Yeah.
That was the big thing.
Yeah.
Hypertech chip.
Yeah.
Henry Frick, can you tune the OBD1 Jeep computer?
Nope.
Same situation.
Same thing. Yeah. The Jeep computer to come after OBD1 was this box of crayons. The one that you have is this box with no crayons. It's about, how's your coffee?
They didn't have extra large.
So you just had
They
to
only
get
had a large.
the peasant size
Yeah, I feel like a little girl. I was like,
in your little special Christmas mug.
am I a little girl? Right, yeah, it's a Christmas thing, right? Yeah. Joe K. Federal employees are being given golden parachutes to go fly away. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? 33 weeks. I wonder where the number 33 come from. 33 weeks of paid leave, and then you can just go away. Trump is going to cut the government down to around 14 or 15 people, which is all you really need. That's all you really need. That's to run the federal government, you need a dozen, maybe 2 dozen people tops. It's up to the states to run themselves.
Yep. Savion Smith, 72 Dart, 318. Edelbrock, 1406. Holly Street Dominator intake, Hedman headers with glass packs cut off at the rear axle. Sounds like a good or bad idea for a daily street rod.
Yes, actually, it sounds like a really good.
Yeah, fun little car.
Yeah, it's perfect daily.
Yeah.
Nice combination of parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Saban, you got a good thing going there.
Yeah. Yes, Mexican spec. I'm enjoying my box of crayons.
Oops. There we go. 20-cent motors. The function of the federal government is to equalize the laws between states and settle disputes in terms of easing trade. Yes, the purpose of the whole purpose of the federal government was trade based. So the California emissions rules could be brought into line with the rest of the nation. Yep. Boomer says carb will never go away. They can stay there all they want. They can call themselves carb if they like to, but their rules don't have to apply. That said, it's not going to go as crazy as people think. They're not going to completely eliminate all emission standards and stuff like that. They're just going to make it reasonable.
See Lewis there. It seems interesting.
I have a 72 Trans Am and completely finished an LS swap with a 408 stroker. But I keep getting this feeling I will never feel this car the way it was in 1972. I'm 25 years old. Would you un-LS swap it? No.
Depends. I mean, depends what, if you had like a 72 455 Super Duty one, the one of 10 and.
Yeah, if it was an original car, like he's saying, if it was an original, but
in the wrapper, but now it's freaking 60 years old.
The LS is your key to hot rod fun. Okay, I mean, if you don't open the hood, 400 horsepower is going to be 400 horsepower, whether it comes from a Pontiac or an LS or whatever. You just cannot beat an LS. You enjoy what you've got, work with what you've got.
Yeah.
Unless your hobby or your vision for the car, if it includes like original type of stuff, then no, the LS isn't going to fit. But if you're talking about just as a machine, right, doing what it's going to do, go with the LS, man, and you'll love it.
Yeah, I figured Thumper would be not amused right away, but that's okay.
Why would you remove the 55 from a 72 Trans?
It may have been a smaller engine and stuff like that, but that being said, if he doesn't want the 72 Trans Am, he could drop that off.
But Thumper, did he pull the 455 or did he get the car without the 455? And these days, where do you find good 455 Pontiac cores? And what is it going to cost them to put one together? You know what I mean? There's a lot to this, bro. There's a lot to this. Louis Caldona is saying, I bought the car completely gutted. Right.
Yeah, so there you go. It's his car. Thumper, leave him alone. Unless you want to donate him a 455.
Listen, there's no reason you can't take the car out and enjoy it and run it around what you've got and then eventually put a 455 in it. I'm not going to stop you from doing that.
But drive it and enjoy it. There's not many of them around. So
yeah, seriously, you're doing fine, man. You're doing fine. Let me tell you something, if I bought a gutted General Motors product, unless it was like a real pedigree car, something that was like, it was original LS6 or some shit like that, I would LS it.
Mm-hmm.
20-cent motors, that's a good comment.
Yeah.
Wheelie King is bringing up a good point. What's the weight penalty for that big iron poncho lung? Yeah, it got to be 100 pounds.
At least.
Let's see. Maybe you can help him out here. David Morgan, been running around doing homework on valve springs. They do sell a conical double valve spring instead of a beehive. Basically, the retainer weight is like a titanium valve and old style double.
This is the beehive versus the double spring again.
I'm not.
I beehive.
You beehive?
Beehive.
You like beehive?
I like the beehive.
Yeah.
Because they're made that way, so they don't, the vibration doesn't kill them. That's the reason for the shape. And then, there's less mass on top.
So you talk about that, right? Did you ever see that video? It's a slow motion video. It's like a billion frames per second cut down to like, and it's
10,000
RPM. The valve springs, what they do.
Yeah.
Look up. You're curious about valve springs, right? Look up that slow motion. I think it's like a 10,000 RPM valve spring. It's on YouTube. It's just amazing. You can watch this over and over and over again to see what those valve springs are doing, the motions that they go through.
Well, that's why the beehive they get rid of some of that harmonics. That it's never going to go all the way. It's a spring, but
those harmonics are heat. All that vibration is heat, and the heat is what takes the temper out of the spring and what kills it. Let's see. Roland Reddick, would it be a good idea to do headwork up if the cam on 4.3 above stock?
I think should you do headwork on a 4.3 if you're going to put a cam in it? Yes.
Yes.
You should start with the Vortec heads because you're way ahead of the game and they bolt right on. And they're $50 for a set of Vortec heads at the junkyard, and they flow so much better. Clean those up, clean the casting, slag, and all that crap out of them. Get some, moderate springs to match your cam you're going to put in it, and just be happy. It'll run great.
Elmo says to hell with valves. Well, to hell with rev limiters. I rev my 350 until the valves float. Yeah, there you go. Real men don't have rev limiters.
That's when you shift. You run it till the valves float and shift.
Yep. Valve float is my clutch. Thunderbird 1968. What kind of paint did you use on the 67 Charger? It's a Boulevard Black from TPI. I think it's TPI or TPC Global, but the color is called Boulevard Black.
You with your fancy paint, just use Rust-Oleum.
But Rust-Oleum doesn't have any hardener. Well, you can add hardener.
Yeah, you can add hardener to it. Yeah. You go down to the tractor paint section and grab a can of hardener and beautiful.
Let's see. Was it a urethane? No. Was it a urethane? God, no. TCP Global. Thank you, Cordell. Let's see. Holy Hook is saying I'm a diehard Pontiac fan, but they're expensive to build these days.
The only thing I like the way the Pontiac engines run and stuff like that, but when you put headers on them, they just sound funny because of that Siamese port. It's kind of like a cross between a flathead and an outboard motor.
But they don't all have that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. They don't all have that. But, okay, well, Thumper, which of the Pontiac motors that had that Siamese port?
The exhaust port, not the intake.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah,
He'll
the
know.
exhaust, yeah. And they get the headers that were one big, so you had three tubes, like a.
Let's see. Mark Sauvé, real men don't lift off the gas when power shifting. Never. Your foot stays on the floor. You force it on there. I know if I hot lap a car, right, my foot starts to hurt. Whereas I'm not exaggerating. I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating at all. My foot will start to hurt because I am so committed to keeping that pedal on the floor that it's like I can't on there, I hot lap a car, make a few runs, and my foot will start to hurt. Silver Eagle Cobra. This looks like a discussion here, but wait, I think Thumper, did Thumper get back with an answer on that?
No. Okay, you just passed it.
Did I?
Yeah, right there.
Where?
Here, Silver Eagle.
No. Oh. Yes. Okay, can you please discuss the tariff and supply issues facing us in the car and hot rod world?
The reason we have shit hot rod parts is because they all come from China. If there was tariffs, we would have good hot rod parts built here that would be worth a shit.
Yes. All right. So here's what you need
My opinion.
Here's what you need to know about like the near future. Okay, it's going to be bad. All right, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm telling you right up front. It's going to be bad. Right. Supply issues, currency problems. Up the wazoo. Now, you have to understand that the purpose of tariffs, the reason why he wants to reinstitute tariffs is because he wants to eliminate the income tax. No income tax. Okay. Now, that's how the government was originally funded. The income tax didn't come along until 1913, along with the Federal Reserve. He has stated he wants the income tax gone. He has not stated that he wants the Federal Reserve gone. But if you get rid of the income tax, you're automatically getting rid of the Federal Reserve, which means that we're returning to a constitutional currency, a constitutional money, and it could be digital. It doesn't make any difference, but it's gonna be hard metal based, either gold or silver, or regardless. So this transition period is going to be freaking insane, economically insane. All right. It's the things that you get commonly now, and they're cheap, and they're available, are going to start drying up, and they're going to start doubling and tripling in value. At the same time, though, we're going to have a restructuring of manufacturing in this country. All kinds of incentives for foreign companies to build their shit over here, and for our companies to expand. So you have to see past stage one of this. So you're going to have stage one, then you're going to have crazy ugliness and weirdness and hardship, and then you're going to have rebuilding. And that rebuilding will put us back in the driver's seat.
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
It'll get a lot worse before it gets better. But it will get better, and it's not going to take that long. All right, Thumper. No, the two ports where the header has 3 tubes. You're saying all of them except the ram 5, the round? No, not round port. Siamese port, where the 2 ports are together in the exhaust.
No, they're not. They're in the same flange.
Yeah,
there's a divider in them, but they have. Yeah.
Let's see. Joe K, there is a means to the end. Yes. Edie Cobra Guy, bye Harbor Freight. No, not so fast. You guys talking about the Olds heads? No, Pontiac. Thumper saying, yeah, the center ports are close, just like the LA. Yes, but which are the ones that use a single exhaust tube on the header?
Or is it just a certain type of header that's common?
Or that could be that too.
Yeah.
Todd Denio, Gabe, the Fed is completely owned by the global elites, not the U.S. government or regular people. Absolutely.
That's why there's no income tax. They go away by default.
The income tax is going away, guys. I'm telling you right now. The income tax is going away, along with the vast majority of the federal government, and along with a vast majority of the rules and regulations and things that have been aimed at hurting us, right? Regular working people, car guys, it's going away. It's going away. This is going to be very interesting times.
No more mandatory government programs for people that invent patents that are related to people in Congress, like backup cameras and seat child sensors. All that stuff that's patented by greedy ass people and
no more $50 million worth of condoms to go into. Where did he send them? That was in the Inflation Reduction Act that they passed. Last year, right? Where they sent $50 million worth of condoms to like Iran or someplace like
Liberia,
that.
Yeah. Just
let's see.
Here's a question. It's Pusk Omad.
Okay.
Can fusible links touch each other at the starter cell knowing terminal, or they need to be separated by a washer?
Oh yeah, they can touch each other. That's not
that's fine. They're getting the power from the same place. It doesn't matter.
Actually, come to think of it, they'd be better off touching each other because it's one less. It's 2 less. You put a washer in there in between the 2, you're adding 2 surfaces that can corrode. If you stop and you think about it, you're only adding the potential for problems. So yeah, put them together and then
crack it out.
What did Olive say?
she's
no.
okay.
This is not economic. There's not economic sanity of any kind being spoken. No, it's not going to work. You'll be blaming the libs for not stopping you again next year. Olive, how do you get that? Listen, we have a debt-based economy. We have a debt-based currency that's run by a foreign corporation known as the Federal Reserve, that's run by a foreign corporation known as the United States of America. What part of this don't you understand? Those things have to go. And with it, all of the baggage that goes with it. Now, in the meantime, this empowers the states because the states have been neutered over the last, since 1871. Little by little by little, the states have been neutered. So the states don't have the authority that they used to. Your vote, when you vote in your state, doesn't have half the value, a quarter of the value that it did as it was intended to. So this is a destruction of the federal, a disassembly of the corporate federal government, and a return to the power of the states, the way it's supposed to be, and a currency that isn't based on debt. What part of that is going to work out?
It's not left and right.
It's not left or right. Exactly.
It's just cutting out all the bullshit. It's up like if you had a grocery store with 3 checkout lanes and 75 cashiers.
Yeah.
We need to get down to 2 cashiers. That's all we really need.
I have been waiting for this for 20-something years, and it's finally here. Olive saying, keep talking, Tony, nothing works this way. Olive, it's how it worked. It's how it was designed. The system that you live in right now has its roots in that. You can clearly see that the system is broken. So what do? You have to keep going back to a point where the system wasn't broken, and you start there and move forward. And that's what's happening right now. That is the reset. You're having a reset whether you like it or not. Work with everybody. You know what I mean? Instead of making sides, left and right, and all of this shit, just if everybody just works together, pulls together, we're going to get through this just fine.
Here was a question that you've been kind of addressing lately. Johnny K, on the Carb Jeep 4.0 project, can you cut and shorten the intake runners to accelerate fuel vaporization?
Dude, that's a lot like work.
If I wanted a job, I'd have one, and I wouldn't be here.
Exactly. There are other ways to heat the intake, and I think there'll be enough radiant heat through the cylinder head and radiating up from the exhaust that I don't think heating the vaporization is going to be much of a problem with that setup. But we'll find out. But long before I would start cutting runners and moving them closer, trying to make it like a motorcycle setup where the right on top of the port, I would just some sort of external heating, either element from underneath or around a hot water line around it or something. I don't know.
Grid heater off of Cummins, strapped to the bottom of the intake or something.
Oops. Let's see. Oliver saying, last time they did this, it brought the Great Depression. No, you're wrong. You're wrong, Olive. The Great Depression was completely unrelated to any of this. The Great Depression happened afterwards. You had 2 key events. Olive, listen to me, sweetheart. I love you. Please listen to me, right? Do your research. Please do your research. 1871, okay? The corporate entity known as the United States of America was formed that runs alongside and is entwined with the republic known as the United States of America. This happened in 1871. It's called the Organic Act. That's the first thing, right? And then the Federal Reserve, 1913. There are other things that happen along the way, but try to understand, find out exactly what those 2 things mean. Find out what your birth certificate means. Find out what all of these things mean, and then you'll understand. It has nothing to do with the Great Depression. Nothing. And yes, we're going to have another Great Depression, probably a lot worse than the first one. Not as long, but worse. So deal with it. It's mathematically baked in the cake. It's going to happen, and nobody can stop it. Power Toys, would you say having a lot of cash saved up is bad in this economy? I'm trying to buy my first house. Dude, wait. Put all your plans, to put all your plans on hold for about 2 or 3 years, okay? And I'm not going to tell you where to invest your money. Me personally, I would buy silver, okay? Wait, and you'll be able to walk into pretty much any house you want for the taxes that are owed on it, okay? Just wait, because the real estate is the thing that's going down, bro.
Right, because there's going to be a lot less people here, which means
Well, that's
just
true.
mathematically, there's more housing available because we have a couple million less people. Well, that's okay. 400,000 houses. It's quite a bit, for every million people that they take, so housing is going to change. You want to cash out and get out of the country is a good time right now. Take your equity and run and come back later.
Olive, if you want to say the robber barons, and the robber barons were gone already. That's the previous generation, Olive. The Vanderbilts and the Carnegies and all. No, it's previous. They were old and dead by the time the Great Depression started. Adding more tariffs. No, there were no tariffs during the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, the tariff system had been displaced by the income tax. Olive, I wish you could come here. Olive, can you come to Tennessee? I'll pay for you to come to Tennessee. I will pay for you to come here and spend a day with me, and I will straighten your ass out and have you understand how all of this stuff works.
It's none of it's political. It's all
and none of it is political.
It's not. It's just a big cash grab from the unseen from the unseen people behind the screen.
And then behind the curtain.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It's all symbology. The whole Wizard of Oz thing is all. Huge correction incoming. More than a correction, bro. Olive, cause and effect, Tony. You're wrong about this oligarchs. No, Olive, you're talking class. Like you're stuck. You're stuck in class warfare. Your mentality is stuck in class warfare. And no, the income tax was not the New Deal. No. All right. Olive, I got to get back to cars. We got to get back to cars. Cardenio, yes, priest ceremony, you were correct. I know I'm correct. I've been studying this stuff for longer than a lot of you people have even been alive. Greasy Garage, Tony, opinions on Volvo 1990 and older. I love them. 70s Volvos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Kathy Bananas had like a 77 or a 78 240 wagon. It was just awesome. It was just awesome. Yep.
Just go. Keep going. Oh, you're going to go somewhere? Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay. The new ones you can't get parts for, it. If you do, they're very expensive and they break a lot. So, but if they look like a big brick.
Mm-hmm. It was only after they got into the whole lambda sand thing. I remember working on these things. Like I was like, in 20s.
Yeah.
It's like, we had, okay, now you're into the check engine light era, and that's there. And then Volvo comes along with a lambda sand. I said, why? No, make it go away. Make it stop. Power Toys, what is the best advice for a young business owner right now? Network. Get to know as many people in your area. Network. Make sure everybody knows what you do. Don't take on any debt. I mean, this isn't the time for expansion. This is the time to get your shit together. Just keep moving forward.
Have a neat little not a big
yes.
Can. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blue collar worker housing is a bubble that needed to pop a long time ago. Yeah, it needed to pop back around 1985 is when it needed to pop.
Yeah.
Okay. Houses cost way too much money. Yes. So what the foreign corporation known as the Fed has done is monetized every family, through real estate. It's like please. It's so obscene. It's so ridiculous. It's so perverse. It's not funny. Real estate, when real estate comes down, I've told people for years. And so help me, I will live to see this day. Okay. There is going to come a time. When the meal that you're eating, okay, you're sitting at your kitchen table, and the cost of the meal you're eating is going to equal or exceed the value of the house you're eating it in.
Okay.
It will happen. It will happen.
Because I remember the first house I bought. It's a duplex in 93. $38,000, and I had a tenant upstairs that paid basically the mortgage. Yeah, yep. That's why I have a hard time. You know, I mean, like, you want what for that? Get out of here.
Gingerbread house. No, don't listen. You watch what happens. What I'm telling you now has happened in the past. If you look up the hyperinflation, the Weimar Republic hyperinflation, it's what happened. Okay, your cost of essentials, the dollar, the mark cost of essentials, meat, eggs, bread, the stuff you need to live, right, was higher than the cost of a house. So you could go and buy a house for, whatever it was, 300 marks, 400 marks, the taxes that were owed on it, because nobody wanted them. Nobody could heat them. Nobody could, it was impossible so people were living together. They were grouping together. They were leaving houses behind. So you had families as they expand, you have 3 houses, 4 houses within a family. Well, then they would just, when things get really tight, they consolidate. They all move in together, and it leaves all these empty houses that nobody wants. So what happens? The dollar value of them goes down, and at the same time, the cost of all of your life essentials is hyperinflating. So they cross. The cost of the house and the cost of your meal cross. This happens during a hyperinflation. It happened in was it Venezuela? I don't think it got to that point in Venezuela, but it was really, really close. Mark, wheelbarrows full of money for a loaf of bread. Yep. 20-cent motors. I saw a chicken wrap lunch for $12.95 today.
Yeah.
That's cheap compared to some of the stuff I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Joe K, bring it back to cars. What's the position now and near future regarding hoarding or buying cars and parts? I've done videos on those. I've done videos on that. Paul Cabazzola has an oil pan question.
All right, Paul.
We're getting back to
oil
cars.
Oil pan away, sir.
Olive, the corporations bragged about the price markups giving bigger shareholder profits. Yes, I know. That's not currency inflation, it's price gouging. Listen to me. That's called predatory capitalism. And that is what exists in a debt-based system. Do you understand that? There's a difference between capitalism and predatory capitalism. The predatory capitalism is only allowed to exist when money has no value, right? Now, when you return the money to a hard standard, I'm not saying everybody's got to carry around gold and silver coins, but when the money is backed, when there's a finite amount of money because you only have this finite amount of thing that's backing it, then predatory capitalism ceases to exist. That's what you're missing, Olive. Dickie Farley, in Germany after World War II, you could take Nazi money to buy stuff. It would take wheelbarrows. Why Germany after World War II? How about the United States after the Civil War, after the War of Northern Aggression, in which that was won by the people who eventually set up the corporation, that eventually set up the Federal Reserve, that eventually set up all of this other shit. The Civil War, the War of Northern Aggression, had the same thing. If you were Confederate, let's say you were a millionaire, Confederate money, right? The day the war ended, the money was worthless. It was nothing.
Just
You were
burn it
broke.
to keep warm. Yeah.
And that's where the carpetbagger thing came from. Another example of where the cost of the house and the cost of the meal are going to cross each other. Immediately after the war, you had all these people from New York, from the Northeast, that threw their stuff in carpet bags, jumped on trains with pocketfuls of change, right? Pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, came down here and bought up everything. I'm in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The town square here is still owned by people in New York, passed down from generation to generation as a result of the Confederate money being collapsed. So, I mean, this happens. It just hasn't happened to you yet. And that's why because people have a normalcy bias. Okay, this is the way it is, this is the way it's always been, this is the way it'll always be. Doesn't work like that. It's normal until it's not anymore. And that's where we're at right now.
Because you've never been taught this in school and nobody talks
about it. Nobody wants you to know about this stuff.
Oh, stay good. See no evil, hear no evil, all that bullshit. The monkeys. Be a monkey. Just be in the corner, go to work, pay your taxes.
This is not limited currency. Venture capital. Yes, I know. Venture capital goes away. Goes away. This is a system that repeats itself over and over and over again.
Here we go. Let's change things here.
Sure.
Hi, Shannon. Have a Chevy 350s flat tappet cam with hydraulic lifters. A couple stuck. Can I replace? Sunk.
No.
Replace all the levers and leave the cam alone.
Stop right there. No. That's a hard no. Pull the cam out. Lobes are gone. There's no taper left on those lobes. So anything you put on there is going to eat
the new stuff up.
Yeah. Even if the lobe looks okay, you spin the motor around, you're like, oh, that looks just fine. Trust me, the taper is gone. Or because the cam lobe has a little bit of taper, a degree or two of taper built in there to spin the lifter. Once that lifter stops spinning, the first thing that gets damaged or wiped out is the taper on the cam lobe. So even if it looks good by eye, trust me, pull it out, done. He's done. Paul Cabazol, we missed his question. I'm sorry, Paul.
Okay.
I can't find Paul's question. God bless you, Dr. Art. Okay, here it is. Paul Cabazol.
Okay.
I'm gathering parts to build a 383 for my 83 Ram Charger. Need to use a rear sump pan. Yes. Will the windage tray for a center pup pan allow proper drainage back to the sump? Yes. Yeah, you won't have any problem with that. You won't have any problem with that. Okay, where were we?
Here.
Duxter Wolverine Garage Gesundheit. Todd Denier, the Federal Reserve was not set up by the federal government. It was set up by the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Morgans, and other global elites. The agreement to give the Fed control was 1913. Yes, read The Creature from Jekyll Island. It gives you the whole thing there. You want to know about the Titanic, please. There's just so much to all of this shit. There's just so much to
Put all your
shit.
enemies on the Titanic and fucking sink it. Collect the insurance. Territory. Yes, Abel. Yes. In the winter, it does suck to get out in the garage and do some stuff. Here it was damn near 60 today, and I was out in the garage happy as a clam.
I was working, I was bouncing around from thing to thing. Like a little,
I was on Big Richard, then I was on the Falcon, and I'm like,
I was buzzing around like a mechanic beast.
Yeah. I could be outside again. Yeah. 100%. And he lives in California, and he's worried about the winter blues. Give me it. Come on.
Let's see. Pick one.
Yeah, Justin. On a 71 to 74 Mopar B body, do you have to use those old Trico stainless steel wiper blades, or can you change to the regular wipers?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can change them.
That's a dead Dodge garage question.
Yeah, that's a Jamie question, but yes,
Yeah.
you can. Yeah.
Jim and Allison Gomolka. There used to be a top fuel team called Jim and Allison Lee. I don't know why that just popped into my head.
Block the crossover on my 4 to 460. It has an aluminum intake. Will the colder fuel hurt my MPGs?
Usually not. Usually not. At part throttle around town, so it'll take a little bit longer for it to warm up and run properly. And for like small throttle openings around town, you're probably not going to see that much of a difference. I think you'd be all fine. I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, and you're not using a 460 for gas mileage anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that about?
What did you see?
Honcho House. 727 really slips into third even after a band adjustment. Still just has a seemingly irrational long shift to third at any throttle. Thoughts? Yeah, lip seal is dead. Pull it apart. You're going to change lip seals in that thing. And while you're at it, throw some new clutches in.
Got to come apart.
Yeah, it's got to come apart. What you rolling? A cigarette. I'm rolling a cigarette. I roll my own like an American. Commie filter smokers.
Exactly. Go to work monkey. Yeah. Blue collar. Exactly. Can you use 70s XJ wiper arms blades with certain older Mopars?
Well, he's saying you can. Well, Perman is saying you can.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
You can use. Okay.
I'll try it. I have both.
Mm-hmm.
But I quit smoking. I know. I quit like, oh God, it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Barracuda, no heated intake plenum from the exhaust manifold on an inline 6 with headers fitted. I know I ran into that with the slant 6. I mean, they're building a heat shield around the base of the manifold at a tin to catch the heat that was coming off the exhaust, and it did work. Rocco is asking, what brand auto transmission kits do you buy? Rocco, I haven't bought a transmission kit or any transmission parts. Sorry, guys, a pop-up just happened. I'm going to close that. Okay. I bought a bulk load of just Torque-like parts. I have enough seals and gaskets and just odds and ends, bands and whatnot to last a lifetime. So I don't have a 72 Z28. Did you see the 50 drill motor garage 54 made for the ladder? I saw the thumbnail, but I didn't click on it. Did you see that?
No.
They took 50 drill motors.
I seen the thumbnail for that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, this is just ridiculous. I didn't.
72 Z28. How did it run? Jamie N, thank you. Tony, love your channel. Been watching for years. Thank you. I have a stock 454 Chevy recently updated. Blah, blah, blah. Hang on. Recently replaced a worn valve guide, only 10,000 miles on the head. Should I upgrade to a roller tip rocker? No. So you say you have a stock 454. If you have a stock 454, it means you got a stock cam. or stock-ish cam. I don't see any reason the roller rocker isn't gonna. You could have just had a bad guide. I mean, it happens.
Or a bad guy put in the guide.
Yeah.
Either way.
Either way. No, I don't think you're gonna find any benefit. You're not gonna find any benefit along those lines with a roller tip. Now, if you're dealing with a kid that had a lot of lift, then yeah, definitely a roller tip rocker is a step in the right direction. But if you got a stock motor, no. Thank you for the super chat, Jamie.
Here we go. Matt.
Yes.
What would cause my ignition timing to fluctuate between 0 and 10 degrees when trying to set the timing? It fluctuates at idle and 2,000 RPMs. Could it be my timing chain, change a distributor, no vacuum?
Timing chain, yes. More than likely, it's your timing chain. That's when you're idling, and it's doing this, right? If you wing it, okay, and it steadies out, and then starts to fluctuate again, you know, once like, so in other words, like, okay, you're at 1,000 RPM, right, and it's dancing all over the place, and you hold the timing line on it, right, and you wing it, right, like that, and as the motor is accelerating, it's steady, and then you reach, let's say, 5,000 RPM, and you let it top out there for a second and starts doing this again, timing chain. Fubar put up a link to my merch.
Nice.
Thank you, Fubar. We have our shirts and our hats. Which one am I wearing today?
This is sketchy even by my standards.
We have sold a lot of those friggin' shirts, and we have them.
Did this one shrink a lot or something? It's like your.
Yeah, it is, right?
It's very.
It's shrunk.
It's a very little girl shirt.
Yeah, they don't all fit the same. It's like a substandard, you know.
Well, it's probably 10 years old. 1,000 washes.
No, it's probably only about 5 washers or so.
Really?
Thereabouts. Yeah, but they don't all shrink the same. Yes.
Oh, this
we have very inconsistent merch. Very, very inconsistent merch. Green Bean, thank you so much for the super chat. What kind of 4-speed transmission should I put behind a 460 big block Ford? Street driving and drag and drive events, 4,000-pound F-150. Well, F-100. Well, that's where you got the question with the weight. What would you recommend? That's hefty. 460.
That is. Depends on the budget. I mean, if you had a budget, I would go with, like, you call it American Powertrain and get one with an overdrive. Because
drag and drive.
Yeah, if you're going to drag and drive it, have an overdrive. And especially with a big block, you don't want to be trying to drive 300 miles between drag and drive places at 50 miles an hour on the freeway. You know, because you got a big block. So, you know, it's not going to want to sit there and run at 4,000 RPMs at 70 miles an hour to get you to the next event.
But you want to know a 4-speed.
I don't really have a 4-speed recommendation. Do you have a 4-speed recommendation that would handle a big block Ford with a 4,000-pound vehicle?
I mean, a top loader will do it.
Yeah.
A top loader will do it. I mean, ideally, drag and drive, you want a 5-speed. You want something with an overdrive. But if you're, I believe in keeping things in the family. There's nothing wrong with a top loader. Those things are insanely strong. That'll do the job. And then you could add an overdrive unit behind it. But that's what I would recommend, man. Just keep it all Ford. Stick with the
top loader.
Top loader.
Yeah. Tony Nert went on a shopping spree for fittings and brake lines and other hardware at Advanced Auto Parts, West Coast closing. Okay. Boxes of 5 fittings that were $15 were actually worth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, dude, I'd buy a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, if they start closing them here, I'll go buy all that help crap. I'll just just throw it all in the back of my truck. Here's $20. Yeah, I'll take all that shit home.
Olive was saying, how dare your merch be inconsistent? I'm a capitalist pig. I'm only after the profits. Yeah. Olive, you know that.
He's what you joust after, like Don Quixote.
So we buy off-brand shirts.
Off-brand.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be poor, Olive. We need to sell sketchy shit. It says it right on the shirt. Come on.
Yeah, the real 50-inch DLP saying Dorman was 85% off. I filled 4 buckets.
Yeah.
Good move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good move. See, you want to talk about investing? There's investing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Kurt's garage. I really don't want to have to go with a roller cam and lifters because then it kind of makes my engine build not low budget. I know, bro. I know. I choke down the cost of these things too. I can afford it. I just don't want to spend it. I know.
Yes, exactly.
I'm with you on that. But it's one of those things where it's like penny wise, dollar wise and penny foolish.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to bite the bucket. Bite the bucket. Yeah, bite the bucket. You could bite the bucket.
Yeah.
Power toys. Can you stack brake master cylinder adapters? I don't recall any prohibitions or reasons behind not being able to.
As long as you got a long enough push rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PG-13, the Bill Hound Show. I'm 2 miles from where OCIR was. Oh man, I just missed. We had their last racer in 1985, I think it was, and I just missed going out there.
Cobra guy.
What was that now? UT, can you do an April 1st special where you tell everyone the wrong thing and give everybody bad advice?
What day's April 1st?
Yeah, what is it? He's looking at my Cold War Motors calendar, which you can get at Cold War Motors.
Look at that.
Sick Cars for the Sick Planet. Yes, what is that? CB 750?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We can do it April 2nd. That's Wednesday. Or we can do, you want to do it Tuesday night?
Sure.
Because it's April
We'll tell
1st.
everybody it's Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Done. Where's our notepad? God.
20-some Motors, the consumer is just dang lucky to have the opportunity to buy your shirt. Yes.
Right.
You know, our motto is the customer is always sorry. Ads. Oh, yeah, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's like lights on and heat.
Yes. Yes.
You know, the two go together, folks. You're a free entertainment.
Daniel Manning, what's your opinion on the big block Chevy 4723 swap? They don't sound as good.
Yeah, they may be less vibration, but you don't have. It doesn't sound like a big block.
Yeah, that's what I swear. A lot of those things are like it's one of those things like where we can do this, so let's do it. The main reason they do it is to try to get rid of that relationship between 5 and 7. But it's not that big of a deal under most circumstances.
No. If you're counting the pulse per collector width and maximum, okay, it's fucking dumb anyway. You're never gonna know.
PG-13, the Bill Hound Show. Will you ever participate in Sick Week? Me, myself, if he wanted to go on Sick Week and take like one of my cars or something, I'd say, yeah, go for it, definitely. But no, my days of going out, and no. I did that when I was in my 30s and 40s, bouncing all over the friggin' 20s and 30s, bouncing all over the country, and those days are over for me. I enjoyed this. I'm a YouTuber. This is what I do.
Yeah, I mean, you've done like a power tour and all these other events and stuff like that. It's just you go somewhere, you drive all day, you check in, you go down the track, and you pack up your shit. It's just traveling for 7 days.
Yeah, and
And I don't, if I'm in the car and I'm going 200 miles, I'm not stopping to look at the big ball of yarn or enjoy the seals or anything like that. I'm going to go and get there and then do what I got to do and to the next place. So it's not a lot of fun.
Plus, I skeeve hotels. I can't sleep in.
No, you'd sleep in your car for 7 days.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to sleep in my car for 7 days. I would much rather be here in my shop and at my home and just. But I'm not knocking it by any stretch of imagination. And if I was in my 20s or 30s and still had that, let's go do this thing, I'd be all over it. But I'm past that, man. I'm 62 years old. I just want to make YouTube videos.
You want me to be home with the dog?
I want to be home with my dog. I want to go play with my puppy right now. You know what I mean? That's what I really want to do. But I totally, absolutely support anybody who wants to do it. I think it's great. They get a lot of heart doing that kind of shit. It costs a lot of money, a lot of dedication. So I hand it to them. But my nitro days sucked all of the adventure out of it.
All of the traveling for racing adventure.
Yeah, they sucked all the adventure out and left me all of the PTSD. You see what I'm saying? Now I just want to be home with my puppy.
Yeah, I mean, even, like it takes us an hour and a half to get to Etheridge. I mean, that's like too long.
That's way too long. That's where we got to start a street racing scene around here. So I only have to roll up the street.
Go, by the speedway or something like that. Yeah. There's a real 50-inch DLP. Is it good to drill holes in the muffler pipe for extra horsepower?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. The best thing is you take it, you go in your grandma's basement or in her kitchen and you get one of those real old-fashioned beer bottle openers that got the wedge, the triangle thing.
Yeah.
And you go and
that would be cool.
And you peel the back side of that muffler.
Well, I say you drill the hole and then bend it with the bit to make it oblong kind of and take advantage of the Bernoulli effect.
Oh, then yes, I forgot about the Bernoulli effect on the backside of a muffler.
Yes.
Oh.
Part of an emotional support puppy. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Guys, you have no idea the trauma. You have no idea. You cannot imagine. All right, Justin Billington. On a 318 Mopar that has welded heat crossovers in the head, how big a hole needs to be drilled to make it effective again, or does throw it a 318 Mopar and throw it away? Throw it away.
There's a million of them out there for $5.
Yes. How big of a hole? Pretty damn big.
And if they welded it from the backside of whatever exhaust port that's feeding it, you're never going to get a drill in there.
Let's see. Barry Cooder, Tony, I've heard of welding a length of exhaust tube onto the head. Yeah, I've seen that. He's onto the headers and aimed at the underside of the exhaust on a Slant 6. I've seen people run tube. I've seen people. I saw one guy. Now, what was it? It was like one of them land speed cars. God, it was either like a Bonneville or an El Mirage thing. It was like an antique class, and that's what they had. They had one of the header tubes looped around and went under the intake manifold and then came back down. I saw that recently. Dunnock, I tried to ask last week, but I'm curious what you think of the Dodge Intrepid. I have a 98, dude. You have like the last of them, and see that they get a fair amount of hate on the web. They were not popular, and it's why you don't see them anymore. It's an extinct car. I remember the racks on those were a real pain in the ass. Did you ever do a rack on one of them?
No, but
Intrepids
I have a different Dodge Intrepid story.
Do you?
Yes. When I was working at a Ford dealership in Wisconsin, middle of winter, someone had traded in a genuine piece of shit 100,000 mile Dodge Intrepid the key here is that the front tires were bald and it's cold and snowy and the parking lot's full of ice.
Okay.
So when it snows, they move all the cars, they plow and stuff like that, and you have to put all these wholesale things back, in the the rear of the lot and stuff like that, and you would treat them poorly because they're wholesale.
Sure.
I decided it would be a good idea to see how fast I could get those tires to spin while the car was bumping up against the snowbank.
Okay.
And it was real cool and made a lot of noise and a lot of smoke until the tire came apart. And Intrepid fenders are fiberglass.
I didn't know that.
So, poof.
That sucks.
Both at the same time. Poof, just blew the whole front end right off the car.
That sucks.
I was like, boss, I got a problem. But it was fun. And if you ever
fun until it's not.
Yeah, and if you've ever been in the back of a Tesla Model 3, not hate on Tesla, it's like deja vu sitting in the back of an Intrepid. It's got the same kind of dash, same kind of weird shape to this front seats and stuff like that. So whoever Monkey Man got to design his interiors, he was the guy from Chrysler. Yeah.
Big Dan, transmission issues plagued Intrepids. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I mean, I'm not knocking your car. I mean, I'm just saying you asked me my opinion of it, and that's my opinion of them. They're extinct for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Take over for a second. I have to hit the bathroom for 2 seconds.
Okay.
For coffee.
The coffee got you?
It's on its way out, yes. Right.
Okay. PG. Oh, okay. Hang on, Jimmy Loose. PG 13, the Bill Hound Show. My Ranger is ridiculous. I couldn't even do the starter on it. It's a bitch to work on for reals. Just drop it off to me. I'll take care of it. Forget you ever had it. Yeah, Boomer, the Intrepid rack mounts were a pain to change. Also, the timing belt tensioners, yeah, would break. Jimmy Loose, thanks for the super chat. Tony be back in a second. UTG, I'm installing your $8 cure for vapor lock right now on my 69 Charger. Does it matter if the filter is placed horizontal or vertical? Thanks. I'll let you know in a second. The best 2 trucks I ever owned. Ford Ranger, you should start destroying questionable machinery. Start small. Guaranteed views. Yeah, if I wanted to be Whistling Diesel, I would be Whistling Diesel.
Much better than you.
Okay. Jimmy Luce has got a question for you.
Yes. I'm installing your $8 cure for vapor lock right now. Man, I did that video a long time ago. On my 69 Charger. Does it matter if the filter is placed horizontal? No, it does not. And thank you for the super chat, by the way.
Big Dan, do you have anything in the works for a race with a propane car? I'll probably get a Yugo.
It's not going to be fast. It'll be fun, but it's not going to be fast. I already know that.
Yeah. PG-13 does not like his Ranger. I told him drop it off. Forget he ever owned it. I'll take care of it.
Donna is saying, my Intrepid has the larger 3.2 liter engine. I haven't really had any mechanical issues with it. I have even abused it by going long amounts of time between oil changes. Take care of the car. Seriously. I mean, the parts are out there. And I'm pretty sure you can still get parts for the thing.
Yeah.
Stock up on essential wear parts. I remember the racks, the inner tie rod ends.
The rack bushings.
Yeah, the rack. Yeah. All of the main problems I remember with those cars was, like I said, in the steering, the racks, and they had the transmission. Their transmission issues. But I mean,
but they were a decent driving car, nice and big.
They were good. Yeah, and I tell you too, I like the way they look too.
Yeah, they had a shape. They weren't like everything else. Yeah.
My buddy Dave the Indian had an LHS with the Chrysler.
Yeah, the fancy one with the squirt.
Yeah. Rocco was saying supposedly the Intrepid platform was set to run front wheel drive. Yes, that's right. Or rear wheel drive might make for a cheap front swap. He's right, Donna. He's right. if and when that thing ever really takes a dump, that platform was designed to either be front wheel drive or rear wheel drive. So you can swap a cool motor into that thing and really have some fun.
Okay. Austin. Okay. Should I drop a 302 out of a V8 Explorer into my 93 Ranger 2-door long bed? Yes. It currently has a 4-liter overhead valve, which it's going to head gaskets are going to leak on it, with a 5-speed and a 48.8 rear the 327 gear. Yeah, you drop in that 302 out of the Explorer. If you could find the 96, 97, 98 Explorer V8, it's a very simple swap. The computer fits in the same slot that it's a 93.
Isn't there something with the dashboard, not the dashboard, the heater, where the heater core sets?
Yeah, you have to, if the truck has air conditioning, the fiberglass little kajingas that holds that all in, you have to just cut a notch out of it for the valve cover on the passenger side. But other than that,
so look into that for your swap. You're going to put the 302. That'd be a fun truck. I had a 4-liter 5-speed Ranger, 93, 92. I don't even remember what year it was.
Yeah, that's what his was. But
that was a fun truck just the way it was. But yeah, look into that modification for the heater box or whatever they call it.
It's you go to the Ranger station on the internet, and they got everything you need there, where you can find mounts and all kinds of pictures. Thousands of people that do that stuff. So
Handy Manification, thank you for the super chat. What car would you recommend for a first muscle car for a kid wanting to learn? McDonald's breakfast fun attached. Thank you.
I would get him a
You say G body, I'm going to say Fox body, or should you say Fox body and I'll say G body?
Well, I was actually going to say like a Chevy C10. But if he wants just a muscle, muscle car, okay.
He said muscle car.
Okay, I'll say G body.
I'm going to say Fox body. So either way, you can't go wrong. Okay. So the GM G body, which is the intermediates, this is like from 1979 through 88. It was last year, right?
Yeah.
All of them, the Malibu, the Cutlass, the Regal, all of them. They're fantastic platforms. You can do anything with them, and they're affordable. They're cheap. Huge aftermarket support. And the same thing with Fox bodies. Your Mustangs, your Fairmonts, your Granadas from 1979 until 93. So
even some of the later Mustangs, 94, 95s aren't bad. So.
Yeah, both of those platforms have huge aftermarket support, huge fucking followings. Their forums is
if ever any questions, people have done it 600 times already. For everything, they'll tell you what to swap and where for cheap and how to do this best and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
that's the thing. If you're just starting out with this stuff, whether it's your kid or anybody who's watching this, if you're just starting out with this stuff, don't ever try to reinvent the wheel. That's the fastest way to cash out of this hobby. Find something to find the most proven thing there is. Find the most common thing there is, and that's where you stick your toes in the water, and then you can see where you go from there.
Because people have spent the money and made all the mistakes already.
Yep.
So you don't have to.
Yep. Robert Tarr, I have a vehicle problem. I have 40 vehicles here, most run. I got the same problem. I don't have that many right now, but yeah, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Zero's here.
Zero has arrived. We can relax. Breathe.
No.
Let's see.
I have a vehicle problem too. I have just one too many.
You don't have any.
Well, not anymore. I mean, if you remember, because I was looking at this the other day, when you first came over to my house in the shop, I had 2 cop cars, two Falcons, a GTR, and the Ranger.
Yeah, you had
plus the daily drivers, plus go-karts and everything else.
Yeah, you had a lot of stuff. Now you have nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I have one too many. The Big Richard's got to go this spring.
Big Richards are going to be up for sale, guys. So
yeah, if anybody's looking for a fucking badass '68 Dodge D100, make you a deal. You've seen it all get rebuilt and it's all new shit. So
there you go.
I got other plans, man.
Austin Barnes, is the Miata still lingering? No, it's been gone for years. And Zero just put up a link because Zero is always thinking of us. Always,
Yes.
He put up
Always
a
trying
link.
to elevate our status of.
He's always trying to raise us. He's like a fifth dimensional warrior is what he is. He's there and he's doing everything he can to bring us.
He can see.
Yes.
Everything
Yes.
into the future.
Thank you, Zero. We appreciate it.
Bob's Chop Shop. Why are you selling the Dodge? Because I want something else. And that's a TBA. But it's going to have big tires and an exposed engine. So.
Oh. Barry Cuda. Tony, I'm wondering about inline sixes. Which side you have carbs? No heated plenum there. Or cross-law sixes where the intake and the exhaust are on the opposite sides. So, somebody asked this question in the comments of that last video I did, right? Which I should read you guys the comment from. I will. Hang on. Just in case you didn't see it. So, side drive carburetor is on an inline motor. It works pretty much the same way a motorcycle carburetor works. Okay, the carburetor is in such close proximity to the heat from the intake port and the back face of the exhaust valve that you don't need anything else. Exactly the same as port injection. Port injection works because it's spraying the fuel right down there into the hottest part.
Hot valve.
Right.
Yeah.
So the stuff that hits the valve when the valve is closed vaporizes, the valve opens, and then the wet goes in. The valve closes. Some of the wet is absorbed during the compression process, but there's still enough left behind for that little extra duration of burn to make it run. So inline motors that use side draft carburetors work on the same basic premise as a motorcycle, or port injection, where it's right there. I hope that answered it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Should I read them out? I'm proud of that comment.
Yeah, bust it out.
You keep them going. I'm gonna read this comment.
Denton Fulmore. Hey Tony, what's your thoughts on mini tub and spring relocation on a 71 Demon to fit bigger tires underneath? Is it worth doing it? How different will the car feel during driving?
Welcome to the 21st century, where we have like 8-inch wide tires that will rip the teeth out of your jaw,
out of your suspension, out of the whole car.
Yeah. Those days are over, right? We have real tires now in real reasonable sizes that there's no need to do that anymore. Look at how fast guys are going on 10-inch wide
on a
tires.
235.
On a 235, exactly, right?
Yeah. If you want the big tire look, okay, but yeah, if you want to go fast, you don't really need them.
Right. So I don't know how many of you guys saw the video we did on the EFI thing, right? The fault with the problem with throttle body injectors. The last video we did. So this is a comment, okay? Just got this afternoon and I pinned it. So it says, this video just saved me from ruining my EFI system. I'm going to put Holly on blast here. I emailed them a few months ago and they stated that there would not be any issues running a dual plane, or any intake that was designed for the engine could be used. This is what they told him when he emailed them months ago, okay? He called them today, okay? This is the day, 2 days after the video comes out. He calls them today, and now they state that a single plane with no heat crossover is required to prevent malfunction of the Sniper 2. The single plane is required for proper functionality, and using an intake that is not a single plane or has a heat crossover will lead to failure. They also stated this is not documented anywhere and requires the user to call tech support. Holly.
Yeah, all you have to say is if you're going to put a Sniper on, you got to change to a single plane or something with a block heated crossover.
But they couldn't do that until we put our video out.
Apparently, your EFI genius now. Now you're elevated to the EFI guru.
I find it very disheartening that the people who push these freaking things, right? Oh, this is a better thing. Don't understand how it works. It takes a freaking YouTuber to asshats.
There was a question here. Slash Baka. Bought back my 88 W100 318. It's overheated numerous times since I've had it. It pours water out from between the engine and the trans, freeze plug, yep. And blows white smoke. Trash the engine or rebuild it.
I would say that you overheated to the point that it ate the head gasket, or worse. Pull it, man. Just pull it and tear it down.
See what you find. Check warped on the deck and the head.
You've either got to pull the motor or the transmission anyway to change that freeze plug at the back of the block. So just pull the motor,
the whole thing out,
tear it down. Let's see. Slash by okay. Bob's Chop Shop. Well, it's funny. That was a good video, Tony, even though I'll not use EFI in anything. I agree. I won't use it on anything either. But that's besides the point. People do use it for whatever reason, but they're not given the information to make it work correctly. Right, BS Customs. I mean, it fits. It just doesn't work great.
Yeah. Oh, you bought it? Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Cheap Roland, do you recommend the Hughes Plenum gasket kit or Felpro with RTV? I use Felpro stuff.
Yeah.
Hughes makes good stuff, right? But they got sharp pencils there. They feel they really value their items.
Yeah, I guess.
So I just use Felpro. War Ghost. Hey, my new turn signal switch was bad out of the box in the 68 Newport. Pull it again, and the collar it screws to pulled out with the switch. Any concerns on there? Can I just push it back together? It's a judgment call, bro. I don't know. It's in your hands there. I couldn't really guess. Oops. Squirrely John, what would be the best thing to look for in a 2.3 Ranger with no spark?
Crank sensor.
Yeah. You got a cam and a crank sensor. The cam sensor initiates the spark. No, the crank sensor initiates. Oh no, Ford. Cam sensor.
It tells. It kind of tells it when to fire number one.
Yes. Well, now it depends on what year Ranger is it? Oh, okay. I'm assuming it's a port injected motor. So yeah, the crank sensor. Okay, the cam sensor starts the sequence, starts the spark, and starts the. But it doesn't run off of that. It runs off of the crank sensor. So if you're just getting you turn the key on an initial crank, you get one quick spark, and then nothing else. It's the crank sensor. If you get nothing at all, it's going to be the cam sensor. Change them both. Tell you what, they're cheap. Change them both, the cam and the crank sensor.
And don't buy the white box one because you'll have to replace it in a week and a half. Yeah.
Rubber tire. I put every basic part in my 05 Ranger, from every tune-up part to a fuel pump. I cannot get it to run right, and it will not throw consistent codes. What are the chances that my ECU went bad or injector?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Pretty good. It won't throw codes.
It won't throw consistent code, so it's just doing random codes this time, random codes that time.
Are there any codes that come up consistently? Rubber tire? Let's see. Rob R. Tony, are you still planning on doing a video over the Summit carbs? Yes, as soon as I get my hands on one. I've had one of my daily driver for 3 years and it's been great. I've been keeping my eyes open, like something pops up on Marketplace or.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used them countless times. And yeah.
Do you have one?
No.
Oh, okay.
If I had one, I'd be like, hey!
Let's do a video on it.
Yeah. No, if I had one, it would have been on Big Rich. He said just as evap leak keeps coming up consistently.
The which keeps coming up consistently?
Evap leak.
Oh.
So 446 or something.
So it's not running correctly, but you're not getting like a 300. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's probably a bad computer.
Or if you're up north and it's real rusty, you got bad grounds or something, because that'll confuse the shit out of the computer too. So.
Yep. If it was a bad injector, you would get automatically. You would get a misfire code.
It would be consistent.
And it would be consistent. So you get a misfire code on it. You get the 300, and then you get the specific, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 3 or 1, 3 or 2, 3 or 4. You'd also get an O2 sensor code or something related to the O2 sensor. So I'm going to say if it's running badly and you're only getting an evap code, that ECM.
Mm-hmm.
BS Customs. The big thing people don't understand about check engine lights is they usually don't have anything to do with runnability. Oh, really? It's all for the emission system, and usually don't throw a code otherwise. No, you're very wrong about that. OBD2 it covers every aspect of the way the engine runs. Todd Denny was saying, Dr. Art, thank you for agreeing it could be a bad ground.
Yeah, it can be, especially if, like I said, if it's an up north truck.
Harley Hawk, I have a 455 Pontiac that was overheated to the point that it blued the rods. Oh, that's bad. I still have the block, but I recall you saying Pontiacs and maybe Buick Olds are prone to warping. Any obvious things to measure? The deck. Check the deck, right? Because if the block itself has shifted, the deck will always be a telltale thing. Now, if the deck is out more than 2,000s, 3,000s like that, then you want to have you should go to a machine shop and have it line honed.
Deck it, line hone it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've also got to be aware of the cam bearings too. Yeah, BS Customs, the for OBD1, right, didn't give you any codes as far as oh God. It didn't give you any individual cylinder codes or anything like that. When OBD, I forget, it's been so long since I messed around with OBD1 stuff.
OBD1 was basically O2 sensors and TPS. Yeah, just the real basic.
Cool and temp sensor, bad, this, that, and the other, right? But once I went to OBD2, OBD2 reads the engine constantly. And that's where one of the main ways that it reads the engine, the overall state of the engine, is with the two oxygen sensors. You got one before and one after the cat. And that gives the computer a really good idea of the running condition of the engine. And then, of course, if there's misfires or anything like OBD2 will tell you, is sophisticated enough to tell you there's a difference. It's picking up a difference between what the throttle position sensor, the map, or the mass air is picking up and what the O2 is. And it can actually determine by deductive reasoning which is the one that goes bad. And that's what they say.
And if it does all that math and you have a parameter that's out of the center where it likes it to be, yeah, it kicks it.
Yep. Well, it'll spit multiple codes, and then you have to just
do your diag.
Right. or you clear them and you take it for the ride and you see which is the first code to get set. That's usually.
Eric Swenson, Uncle Tony Doctor, 86 F250, 351. High output has a bad draw and made a new battery dead. Does it sound like a bad voltage regulator? Electrical system is stock. No power windows or locks. I would say alternator.
Yeah, bad diode in the alternator.
Yeah.
I
would start there on that truck.
86 of the voltage regulator is solid state.
And it's all in.
So yeah, so that wouldn't be the problem. So there's the one big wire on the back of the alternator, right? Disconnect that and see if that kills your draw. That's if you got a heavy draw and you've checked all the obvious things, so you know you don't have a glove compartment light that's staying open or anything.
Or if you hook the battery charger up to your truck, come back 3 hours later, and you put your hands in the alternator, and it's not pleasant to touch.
Yeah, that's another way. That's another way.
Because it will get hot. So.
Okay. Squirrely John, bad voltage regulator will definitely kill the battery. On a solid, now on a points one, yes, absolutely. But on a solid state, would that kill the battery also? Because I don't think I've ever come across that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I've never come across it. Grease Belly Garage, OBD home was like playing Pong.
Yeah.
Power Toys, what's the easiest way to get 350 horsepower out of a 91 350 TBI? Well, first get rid of the TBI.
Because it's right. Like running a 2-barrel.
Yeah, step one.
Get rid of the TBI.
Get rid of the TBI.
And then the normal 350 Chevy shit, good heads, big cam.
Yeah, throw in a vacuum advanced HDI distributor. Also, actually, it wouldn't take much. So if the motor's in good shape, if the motor's in decent shape, right? Those are good heads on that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Those are good heads. So if the motor's in decent shape, to get 350 horsepower out of it, 4-valve carbon intake manifold, a vacuum secondary 750 Holley, and 800 Edelbrock is a good choice for that, right? Or 4100. So the 750 4100 carburetor is a good choice for that. Performer intake manifold, throw in a conventional HEI and tune it. Just tune it, and you're going to be kissing close to 350 horsepower.
Decent exhaust and stuff like and if it's not 350 horsepower, it's still going to run real nice. With 300 horse in a regular car, that's plenty.
It'll spin the tires enough for you to tell people it makes 350 horsepower.
Yeah,
and
you're good.
They'll believe you.
It'll sound nice. Yeah.
M1 Grand for the win. Will using solid motor mounts on a 426 Hemi have the same effect of pulling a cylinder out of our? No, it won't. That was the whole purpose of them adding those pads to the side of the block, specifically so that the cylinder walls and the outer deck wouldn't be distorted no matter what you put to it. Because if you look at where those pads are, they're in the skirt of the block. So they're actually they're under. So you've got the bottom of the water jacket, which is the strongest part of the bottom of the block. That's where the cylinders get tied to the outer section, and that's where those pads are. So yeah, no chance of distorting the cylinder, distorting the cylinders with that. Eric Swenson, I'll definitely check the warm alternator. Only time I had a regulator go bad was on a 67 F250. Yes.
It's a 67. Yeah. The little funny blue box.
Yeah, the points would stick together and give you that problem. Squirrely John had a Chevy Aveo. I can't even picture what that is.
It's a little Chevy spec. Just a little egg car.
Is that one of those Toyota Chevys?
Yeah, probably.
that the voltage regulator went out in, tested fine, but would drain the battery to a point that wouldn't take a charge anymore. Okay, like I said, I haven't come across that in a solid state voltage regulator, but I believe you if you say so. And Zero, put the link to your channel.
My channel, so everyone can go there.
Dude, what marvelous shit would people find on your channel?
Endless marvelous shit.
Really, what's the most marvelous thing they're going to come across?
There's drag racing. There's engine rebuilding. There's timing chains on a 4.6 Ford, which is like my most popular video.
4.6 Ford timing chains. You get phasers and all that other shit in there?
No, this is a 2-valve.
Okay.
But the same theories apply. Mark up the dots. Take all the mystery out of it.
Okay.
Lots of Ford Ranger content. There's go-kart content. There's freaking turbo this and that, and
it's like a buffet.
There's so many computer tuning videos. You could do this yourself at home by just watching the videos. You will learn. It's a learning channel, folks.
Yes.
You can expand your mind to.
Yes.
Great.
So there's Zero put like endless marvelous shit at.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Zero.
And lots of dog videos, but
yes, dog videos. He goes to the shelters and he shoots the dogs that are there. So if you're in, oh God, that sounds horrible. No, God forbid. Oh shit, I know.
Yeah.
He goes and takes pictures. He videos the dogs there. So that if you've got room in your home and your heart for a pup that's sitting in a shelter right now, Dr. Art is,
Yeah, go there and pick yourself out one and.
Yep.
Oh no, I'm Dr. Death. Thank you, Tony.
Oh no! Oh God, that was so horrible. End of time. Does the 87 through 93 Roller 302 Duraspark 2 have a steel gear? If so, what can I rob a used one from? Can I remove the steel gear and put it in an older Duraspark? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know what they have. It has to be a melanated gear. Can you rob it from? I don't know. Geez, I don't know. Andy at Unity Motorsports probably knows that. Pop over there and ask him in his comments. Rocco says Art needs to put a 5.7 Hemi in an XJ. I agree with that. I believe that he should also.
Matt, is 13.0 too rich for idle? Doesn't smoke, idle smooth cars. Standalone ECU. Take fuel out and lean it, but it runs worse. Well, then it's happy there.
If it's happy, it's happy. What do the plugs look like? Right? I mean, no two engines are the same. Well, I shouldn't say no two engines are the same. No two combinations of things.
Because you have overlap at idle. That's the moment's longer, so you're going to get the O2 sensors, or maybe seeing too much, more fuel than is actually being burned. Blah blah blah.
Right. So, there's lots of reasons for it. The question is, if you pull the plugs, do they look even? Do they look tan? Because if they look even and they look tan, you're fine. Don't worry. Yeah. It's just a number. It's just a number. John Crone, don't take a single air fuel ratio data point at face value. Back it up.
That's right. Yeah. Perry Ford just subscribed. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Have a good time over there.
Welcome. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Explore my stuff.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think all the XJs that were up here in Michigan have somehow migrated down to Tennessee because they're starting to slowly disappear and return to the earth up here. Well, yeah, because it's Michigan. Yeah, they're galvanized. It didn't help them up there in Michigan.
Yeah, we have a lot of good XJs here. I got to tell you, they're around.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
There's one that just popped up for $100.
I seen that one.
Marcos, you saw that?
Yeah. If you needed a drivetrain out of one, there you go.
Yeah, it's like half price of scrap
It was beat to shit, but it was you could
because of stuff carved into it.
yeah. Oh yeah, the guy's name and everything. Yeah, it was carved in it. But what the hell?
Well, the one side it's in. I love boom.
It says yeah. I've seen that.
Just gouged into the side of it. Yeah.
That truck has seen stuff.
But it looks solid. It looks solid.
Yeah.
Henry Frick, ZJ is the way to go. I respectfully disagree with you, sir. ZJ is not bad, but no. No comparison between an XJ and a ZJ. I'm sorry. The XJ is man's greatest achievement. Rubber Tire just got his first XJ. He's so excited. It's a 98.
Woo!
Congratulations. Welcome to the club. You're going to have fun with it.
And we can tune it.
Yep. Jamie, did you see Jamie's video? Jamie got an XJ.
Yes. And
he's having fun with that thing.
he's having fun with it. And I'm like, oh, it needs a tune. And he's like, no.
I told him they're addictive. He'll have another one.
Well, he said he had one prior to that he got rid of because it was shitty.
But that's because he wasn't messing around with them.
But now he had all this fun in this cheap XJ that went through the forest behind his buddy's place in Washington.
Yep.
He'll have 3 more now. It'll be dead XJ garage.
Power Toys, is the 4.0 really reliable or is it just easy to fix? Yes. Carl Tuckerson, have you heard of the Gadget Man groove? Yes, and it's nonsense.
Is that the English kind of Gadget Man? Or is
It's a groove. Okay. So here's what he did. Okay.
Okay.
It's the same as adjusting the TPS lean, right? Or to achieve lean with a TPS at idle. All right. So what he does is is it behind? It's in front. Right alongside the bottom of the throttle blade.
Mm-hmm.
He digs a groove. Okay.
Oh.
So now what happens is when you open the throttle blade just a hair, instead of it pulling through the hair that it's supposed to, it's pulling air from under the trough. Right? So it will give you a more sudden throttle response.
Mm-hmm.
Just off idle because you're picking up that much more air. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it does absolutely nothing beyond that, right? Just the Gadget Man groove is something that will function. Look at it. Just look at it and examine it and look and see what it actually
for
does.
one thing, for one moment of time.
And all it's doing is right off of idle, it's just allowing a lot more air to come through.
I do the same thing with my turbo truck with it, but I just put a nice big hole right in the middle of the throttle blade.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So when it's right off it, it corrects it that little extra.
80 Cobra, the Gadget Man can constantly post stupid shit on my videos. Starts with a question and end with him telling me to get in the groove. I'm an idiot. The Gadget Man is an idiot, and so is all of these other things. These hot vapor people. I went rounds with this one ding dong with a.
Oh, they send you all these 800 mile per gallon carbs and everything else like that.
Please.
And all that bullshit just went right out in the dumpster. Have you been in this building a year?
It's a year. It'll be a year tomorrow.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. It's been a year. Oh my God.
Still haven't cleaned.
No, it's still. You guys got to see the mess that I got over here. Kathy Bananas won't come near here. She's like, no, you disgusting pig. You do what you got to do. So I'm kind of on my own.
You need to find a cleaning people.
Yeah.
Ask your buddy next door who he uses.
John?
Yeah, ask John who he uses. Or does he have people?
John is like the next step of human evolution.
I know he's way above all of us. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There's no mess can happen around him. It just.
Well, it just rolls off him. Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, thank you, John. Happy shop anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great shop. I love this place. I have a lot more, I have a much clearer head here than I had in the other one.
Well, the other one was kind of weird and archaic.
It was big and it was, yeah.
It was right off the main road and you had intrusions and
the whole last year that I was there, I could not wait to get out. I didn't want to break the lease. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I could have. He would have let me out of it. But,
Mhm.
you know, the whole last year that I was there, every day I would walk in and I was just like, looking around.
What's all this bullshit?
What am I doing here? I love this place. This is good. This is as close to a home garage without actually having to work out of my home garage as you can get. This is where I'm really comfortable.
Yeah, Barry Cody ad. Tony, is there a video showing your Slant 6 heat deflector?
Yes, it's there, but I don't remember what the hell it was called.
It was when we had it at the track, wasn't it?
I don't remember. No, it was. I remember doing it at the shop. I remember shooting it with the door open.
Yeah.
And with the heat gun. Just go back and look at Slant 6 videos. Like it'd be one of the last Slant 6 videos. It was before the 4-liter like ate my brain. Mid-May muscle. Didn't some guy walk in on you? Yeah, we had it a couple of times. We had one guy just walk in. Right, we were in the middle of a live, and he was like, "What do you do?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had a guy come and deliver pizza once. One of our viewers sent pizza over, which was really nice of them.
They don't do that here. Well, they don't know where this is.
They don't know where this is.
Yeah,
right?
that's,
This is like
okay.
a secret location.
Yeah, we'll buy pizza. We'll buy our own pizza.
Yeah, one of the problems with the old place was that I often come in and there'd be people camped out in the friggin' parking lot. What are you doing? So now it's like we're off the radar over here.
Yeah, this location doesn't actually exist. Only on the internet.
Rocco, you had some great content out of the old shop. We did, but I'm just telling you, I'm much happier here. Let's see. Robert Tire, do you like old Toyotas? Very old Toyotas, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, stuff from the 70s? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Those Celicas were beautiful cars.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 75, 76,
Yeah.
77.
And all the old FJ40s and Land Cruisers, and yeah, all that stuff is gold.
What I remember the most about Toyotas from that era was how incredibly simple they were to work on compared to a lot of the other things that were out there. Everything on a Toyota was a a 15, a 12, or a 10 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit almost anything. You fix anything, almost anything with open wrenches.
Yeah, it's not like a domestic where you need 17 different tools to change a headlight and everything else.
Yeah, original old school Toyotas were tight, good cars. Austin Barnes, how do you find shops to lease? Like, do I find storage units or like those strip commercial building things? It all seems rather expensive. Austin, you have to go out into the world that you're surrounded by and find it because it's there. You have to find your situation.
Little industrial parks and things like that. Yeah.
You find your situation, you make your deal. So sometimes, I mean, it's taken me weeks sometimes to find a location to do things here or there. But they're out there. You just need to go. I don't know where you are. I don't know what your situations or your opportunities are where you are. But they're there. Trust me, they're there. You just have to go out and find them.
Yeah, you're not going to drive by it. You're going to have to go around back and see it. And yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Robert Torrey, hell yeah, inline 4-banger for the win.
Mm-hmm.
KJ, what's happening, KJ? How? How what, KJ?
How?
Rocco says, I was dumb enough to rewatch the 318 live build a couple of weeks ago, all of it. Dude, that was so painful. That was painful. Olive had a 77 Celica. They were great cars. They were beautiful too. I remember the grills on those cars. They were tight looking. They were very tight looking. Cressida. Oh, the Cressida was where Toyota jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Okay. Toyota was knocking them out, right? They were doing good. And then the Cressida. And the Cressida was a flat spot on the wheel. Those cars sucked. Yeah, the 240 SX was a
cool car. Yeah.
A Rickenbacker. What's a Rickenbacker?
Hmm.
What's a Rickenbacker, Paul?
A guitar.
Oh, I don't play guitar.
No. We don't have rhythm like he does.
No. The Cressida had a bad ignition system, killed the ECM a lot. And the mass air sensor on those things was.
The door thing.
You remember that? The big giant flapping door and
yeah.
Oh, what a turd! What a turd! But do you remember how you diagnosed if it was bad or not?
The flapper door.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take the cover off and
you tap it.
Oh.
You take a wrench and you go dink,
dink
to the top of it, and if it stalls, it's bad, and if it keeps running, it's good.
Oh, okay. No, it didn't.
Because they would go bad in an intermittent way.
Oh, okay.
Right, where you'd be driving along and it would just take a dumper, it wouldn't start, and if the customer would bring it to you and it's running fine, and you go like that to the top of it.
It needs that magic box.
Yep.
Okay.
iSpider Garage. Hi, what's happening, iSpider?
What's going on, bud?
Yes, the vein airflow sensor. Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Workman likes eggs.
Nice.
Good for you, Paul. That's awesome.
Eggs are good for you.
Very good. Had a 79 Cressida, quite slow but very comfy. I only saw them from the mechanics viewpoint.
They were comfy, but for their day. They had all the bullshit on them with the electric windows and all this and that. And yeah.
Josh Holman heard that the Mission Impossible build was abandoned. Yeah. They got that ass clown from Florida. What the hell was his friggin' name?
Oh, Jimmy Engine Porter.
Yeah, Mr. Porter Extravaganza. I don't even remember his name. He's an idiot. He's just a friggin' idiot. He knows what he's doing. He does good work.
Yeah.
He's a friggin' idiot. But yeah, once he got into that whole mix, it was doomed.
Yeah, we're gonna send these down. Yeah, send this guy in Florida Park. What? Yeah.
The holes. Technical question. Hopefully to support the channel. Do you guys ever get into detail around piston composition, for instance, hypertectic pistons, something about silicone content? I have never gotten into that on this channel, but it is an interesting concept. What piston for what occasion?
That's a big Pandora's box.
It's a big, exactly. It's a big Pandora's box. Exactly right. I have hypers on my 340 in my 73 Roadrunner. Noisy freaking pistons, really noisy. And I have a short block here. I have a 318 short block that has hypers on them. That could be interesting to see what they'll do on nitrous, because people are like, "Oh, you can't use hypers on nitrous."
No, that's all about tuning these nitrous. It's nothing.
Well, I'm just telling you the wives' tale. The common.
How many 5-liter Mustangs got sprayed? Those are all. Every one of those had hypertectic pistons in it.
Yeah, the KBs. Because it's over the KB hypertectics.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you Google that and nitrous, you'll get universally. Oh, you can't use them on nitrous.
Why?
I don't know, but I have some, so maybe we'll find out. We'll throw 300 horse at it and see what they do.
100, good, 200, good, 300, well, okay.
All right. Dude, look at what time it is.
Oh my God, we went over.
And we only got 168 likes. All of that. We poured our souls out. I had such high hopes.
There's like,
I would have thought we would have cleared 200
there's
likes.
like 4,000 people that watch this show.
Oh, Jesus.
And 160 say yay. So we got 3,800 people telling us to go bugger.
All right. Well,
That's okay.
Charles Cividio. Yeah, that's his name. I couldn't think of it.
Mm.
Yeah, he's an idiot. But thank you, really, King. Smart and knows what he's doing. I never take anything away from somebody who knows what he's doing. He definitely knows what he's doing. He's good at what he does. Ass clown. Troublemaker. So Charles is a great guy. Well, good.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell him I think he's an ass clown.
Yeah. Talented ass clown. Yeah.
Right.
We can get out of here.
We can. But first we have to thank Mexican Spec and Zero and Fubar. Good can you?
Thank you.
There you go. Our awesome mods. Is there anything you need to talk about?
No, because my daughter and my granddaughter are coming in town tomorrow, and I will be doing nothing except holding a baby for 4 or 5 days.
Nice.
So no
Okay.
content. Sorry, too bad.
Yes.
Baby first.
And Zero put up the link to your marvelous shit.
My marvelous shit.
Yeah, so go over there.
Buy some marvelous shit.
Right. And then Monday night you do a live on your channel.
Yeah, Monday, and I've been consistent with it too. So we're having a lot of fun over there on Monday nights.
Okay, lots of fun. Too much fun. That's why I stay away. I'm trying to be clean now. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to walk the straight and narrow. So I stay away because crazy times over at Dr. Arts. So that's it then, right? So we thanked our mods. Thank you for everybody contributing to Super Chat. Always appreciated. Never expected, but always appreciated. And everybody present who contributed with your presence and your conversation. Thank you so much. You gave us the most valuable thing you have, your time. And I hope we made it
undivided attention.
Yes.
And loyalty and love. And
I hate to think that they gave us undivided attention. I like to think that maybe they just kind of like glance up as they're eating pizza.
No, this is a Wednesday night
no, that would freak me out. I don't want anybody to pay that close of attention to anything I say. And I'm not joking about that. Don't make me self-conscious.
They don't want your viewers to have an Uncle Tony shrine in that little funny room in back behind their bedroom.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you on Sunday night. And
go ahead.
Bye-bye.